Good
evening, everyone. This is the Township of Franklin Planning Board meeting on November the 18th. If everyone would please rise to the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice has been posted on the township website, posted in the Sentinel and South Jersey Times, and posted in the municipal office.
Thanks, Chris. Roll call, please.
Mr. Brandt.
Here.
Mr. Clark.
Here.
Mr. Doyle. Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Mulady.
Here.
Mr. Swade.
Here.
Mr. Ranson. Mr. Cahoot. Mayor Bruno.
Here.
Mr. Travaglione.
Here.
Chairman Pesh.
Here. Okay. Sorry, there's no resolutions this evening. Yeah, the mic's not on. You just got to speak up. With the, go ahead, Jackie.
I think before we start, we'll swear in the
Yep.
board engineer on the board. Stand up, raise your right hand, repeat after me.
Jackie, do you want both or one at a time?
We can say one at a time. State your name. I, Kate Wade, and
Richard Isufi,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
the governments established in the United States,
and in this state,
and the state,
county, and township,
county, and township,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all of the duties of the office of board engineer, board
for
planner,
and
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Okay. And Christie will have you sign the oath later on. Thank you. You're sworn.
All right, thank you, Jackie. Ed, would you mind introducing the colleagues from your firm that are present tonight?
Yeah, so this is Kate Wade. She's an engineer, professional engineer out of our office in Camden. She works with me within our municipal group. And Richard, I'm not going to put through your last name. Richard is one of the planners at our firm and works with Chris, and then help with the master plan as well.
All right, very good. Thank you. With no resolutions, on the SP 2501, would you mind if we took the next one first? It's an extension for an application that was approved and a request for an extension in time. It should take a couple minutes to hear, rather than the full-blown application. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman, and the phone call interruption, I apologize, was my client saying he's 10 minutes away.
Okay,
So
well,
that
see,
works out perfectly.
I only need a couple minutes, and I bought, so your client won't be that late. Then let's call PB 2411-1, Ann Deschall.
Have you been shown from Crookston? Microphone?
No.
It's not recording? Right.
It is recorded.
Raise your
yes.
right hand. You're going to take an oath. Do you swear that the testimony you're going to give before this board is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? To help you God. Okay. State your full name.
All right, what's going on?
Well, you have deeds of subdivision, deeds of conveyance, and we already moved from this buying the house, and we thought we could do it all together and be more efficient. Turns out that was not the case. There were lots of things that we led getting certificate of occupancy and all sorts of things in the community to be able to do that. And the survey had some extra things that we fixed. And so I submitted the forms according to the resolution. It says, number 9, applicant shall submit for approval, subject to deeds within 190 days from the date of approval. I thought I said everything right. I submitted and said something within 190 days without going back on the 190th day, signed. I thought I was okay when I was doing the process, but during the process, it was like, kind of something I have to do with the county. And nowhere in the resolution they would say that. So of course, if I were a lawyer, or if I had done my research, I would know that, but I didn't.
Okay.
So,
What kind of timeline are you, extension are you looking for, days-wise, timeline,
we were
time-wise?
ready to go. Like, we were ready to close as soon as we got them, so we needed like literally 1 day.
Chairman, I
Yeah.
understand that.
Now we need a little longer because they have to go through.
We gotta change the resolution now.
And everything else.
No, there has to be a new resolution
New-
approving the
yeah.
extension, but then the deeds have to incorporate reference to that new resolution. So the deed has to be redone. The deeds will all have to be redone, sent back for approval.
Okay,
And,
so
yeah.
everything has to get redone.
Not everything, your legal description's fine, that's already been approved
Not,
by the...
it's not because there's one more of what's on
The south and the-
Yes.
Okay, so that was handwritten and it was approved by the board engineer or planner. But the language, the conveyance language needs to be, the attorney who drafted them will know what to do. We'll have to incorporate a resolution if one is adopted. Okay?
Go for it.
So she'll need time to get that done.
Is it 120 days sufficient time, assuming?
It's more than a-
Yeah, because it's 100, it'll be 120 from the time we approve the resolution, which will be next month, correct?
Yeah, we have a draft prepared if you wanted to
Oh.
approve it tonight.
Can we expedite it that way? Yeah, I mean,
But
that's
up
Mr.
to the
Chairman.
board. You can give her you can give her
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, 120 days, I make a motion to accept, grant extension for 120 days.
Second.
So then
Motion, second. A roll call vote, please.
Hold on, Jason was the motion,
Correct.
Yeah, 120 days.
and who
Mayor
was
was
the
the
second?
second.
Mayor? Mr. Brandt?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Malady?
Yes.
Mr. Swade?
Yes.
Mr. Travaglione?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Yes.
Chairman Pesh?
Yes. Okay. Good luck.
So what do I do now?
Well, we'll then adopt the resolution the memorializing resolution at the next meeting.
At the
And
next
then,
meeting?
and that'll be 120 days from
From that
tonight.
point.
So we can't close.
Your clock doesn't start until mid-December.
So
So effectively, you have 150 days from tonight.
Are we,
But I can't do anything else.
she's selling the property, are we able to, you said you had a draft resolution, can we,
Sell it and do everything.
We have a resolution.
are we able to approve it
prepared for
tonight?
60 days, but you might just...
Can you just cross it off and,
Make it 120.
yeah.
You can't make it close that.
No, that's what we're trying to do, we're trying to get it done tonight for you, that way it doesn't hold you up, so,
We have the resolution and draft prepared.
yeah.
Well, whatever
Mr. Chairman, yeah.
we gotta do to satisfy that.
Yeah.
You have the- Okay. So we'll sign it at the end of the evening.
It'll be
That one.
after,
We'll just change
after
it
the
to
end of the
120.
meeting.
Okay.
So do I just get it from Chrissy tomorrow? Is that fine?
Tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, be at Chrissy's office.
No, I will not be there until Thursday afternoon, so,
Right.
yeah.
So whenever Tuesday will get it to me, then I'll start the process with everybody else.
Have the deeds corrected, send them to us for review, and then once we say yes, then you can file.
And that's filing it with the county.
Yes.
So all deeds get filed with the county clerk to record the transfers.
Nothing easier.
I understand, and I think that's what the board is considering.
And the county's very particular, if there's anything wrong, they'll send it back.
I did a minor lot line adjustment on a property, and I missed the target date and had to come back and do the same thing you're doing right now, so it happens. Thank you. Okay. Your client's not here. Why don't we try the microphones before we continue? You want to wait for, you want to start, or you want to wait for your client? Is it recording, Chris?
It is recording. It is recording, I just don't have,
Sound, yeah.
All right.
but it is recording.
Being the client's not here, let's wait a couple minutes, put the mics back on, and...
You want to review ordinances?
Yeah, I want to see what we can get the mics on.
Yeah.
I'll be glad to start without them, but, it's up to you.
Please, go ahead and do the order.
Okay, got it. Yeah, no, I got it right here.
If I may, with the ordinances, 13 through 16 are exactly what came out of the master plan re-examination, and the township committee has returned them to this board for, a report back in terms of whether this is consistent with the master plan. And the planner has looked at them and they're exactly what the recommendations were. 17 and 18, I think, came out of a discussion that the township committee had on making minor changes to FV and MV. And when those were drafted, a copy and paste error was made where they copy and pasted the new RA requirement. So you'll see at the back of your packet, you have what should be going back to township committee as an amended ordinance 17 and 18, which takes out the changes that were in there. The copy and paste actually made the restrictions greater rather than lesser. So it's reverting it back to the original yard restriction as opposed to what the township committee had put in this ordinance.
So it's a copy and paste from the RA.
Yeah,
Which-
copy and
right.
paste from the RA. From the amendment to the RA, the ordinance.
Right.
But it involves Franklinville Village and Malaga Village.
Yes, so if you look at the page which talks about the single-family detached housing, you can see that we're recommending township committee fix the copy and paste error by eliminating sub I through sub 5 and just referring to what's existing in the code, which is the yard requirements as set forth in 253-131A and 253-134.
So speaking as a member of the Master Plan Review Committee, and I'm going to speak to Richard, the planner, on this, even though Chris handled it. The intent for these three ordinances, RA, FV, and MV, was that if a person owned a lot that was a lot at one time, and today it's not a lot because of standards being increased, currently, prior to these ordinances being passed, the landowner would have to go in front of the zoning officer and then the zoning board and request a variance for the undersized lot. It was our intent to eliminate those delays and expenditures of our taxpayers. In reading the language that was drafted by whomever for these ordinances, it talks about the size of the lot. If substandard, it's a lot. But nowhere in the documents does it mention the frontage, if the frontage is substandard. Now, back in the day, we had 135-foot frontages in the RA zone, and today it's 150. And I don't think these ordinances addressed frontage. And does that mean today, if a person comes in with a lot that has, let's just say, 2 acres, but only 135 feet of frontage, will still have to go in front of the zoning board for a variance? And in my opinion, they will have to, because we didn't adjust the language. Whereas the intent of the Master Plan Review Committee was, if it's a lot, it's a lot.
Yeah, I concur with your opinion, Ralph. And I think the only minor modification would be to add where it says no minimum lot area required, no minimum lot area or frontage required would satisfy that. And
So I would like a ruling tonight by this board. I don't want to delay the December 9th ordinance passage by the Township Committee, and would this delay it?
Well, they're going to have to amend, if we send it back and they accept this board's report and recommendation that it should be amended in accordance with what's in front of you as well as what you're adding, then they still have to have, I think it might be 10 days before they can vote on it. So they reintroduce it on the 9th, they can vote on it at a special meeting, and that's my understanding of the intention. The intention is going to be in a special meeting, so it's done this year.
Will be done before the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay.
I bring this up because for the past 2 Township Committee meetings for October and November, a resident in the Malaga Village came forward, and she lives on a substandard lot, and she was told, well, wait till December 9th, and then you could start building because we're going to pass this ordinance. And here we are slowing down the process once again.
Well, and not intentionally
This
slowing
isn't
it down,
slowing
but getting it
I don't
right.
agree with that. This is fixing something.
Okay.
Because if this went through like this, there's all kind of more problems.
All right, so I want to get a consensus. I don't want to speak for the board. I want the board to weigh in. Do we want to fix frontage as well as size, or just size as this is written?
Well, if we're gonna put frontage in there, why don't we put off setback? So that way, if there's something else that just doesn't fit, but did fit 20 years ago, then it should be all setback. That way, we're not changing anything else later.
I
Well,
agree.
when we did the master plan review, we established, and specific to the RA district, with the fact in mind that the current requirements are 1.5 acres, 150-foot frontage, and 20-foot sides, I think 75-foot front, the recommendation by the committee was to establish the setbacks that are listed in the ordinance before us this evening, which I'm trying to find them, which I think is 45 feet front yard, 15 foot each side with a combination of a 35 total, a rear of 40, and maximum lot coverage of 20%. The idea being that there's a lot of areas within the township that were developed, in the 50s and 60s that have 100 by 150 foot lots. So there was a consensus that those setbacks would still allow you to develop that 100 by 150 foot lot in a lot of the Newfield Terrace area, the Oak Avenue area, with a modestly sized home. So.
But at the same time maintaining the.
Well, maintaining, yeah,
setbacks that
exactly.
In the MF and the.
Correct, yeah, the MF and the NMV were not contemplated at the time of the master plan reorganization or review. So.
Right, so in these two ordinances that would revert back to 10-foot minimum.
Yeah, we clearly don't want, we don't want to put more,
eliminate-
no, we don't want to put more restrictive requirements, and that's what happened here by the cut and paste, so. But back to anything that's currently zoned RA, I mean, the setbacks established, I think, in the no minimum lot area is exactly what the intent of the committee were. But I think to Ralph's point, we just want to make sure that, the lay person would assume that, hey, if you have no minimum lot area, there would be no minimum frontage requirement either. But we don't want someone to go in with a quarter acre lot that meets all these requirements and then have the zoning officer say, oh, well, you don't have your 150 foot of road frontage required.
Right. So Jackie, from a legal standpoint, adding the verbiage, minimum lot size or frontage, are we meeting the intent there? Are we causing any unknown problem? Will we be causing any unknown problems?
Well, I mean, we could, I don't know, the planner looked at this and recognized immediately that the
Mr. Chair.
copy and paste was not,
Yeah, I
was
think-
incorrect, and reverting back to what we have in the FB
Right.
and the MV is fine. If you change that and say, eliminate minimum lot frontage, I don't know the impact of that. I couldn't-
No, it would be an end, not, it wouldn't be inserting frontage, it would be minimum lot area and frontage.
No minimum lot area and frontage.
Yeah, from a planning perspective, I think Chris and I looked at this, and I think our position was to table the FB and MV ordinances so we can, review a little more, because these are undersized lots, and looking at front yard setbacks of 45 feet. I think we could table those two and then look at them more before we push it out back to council. But ordinance 12 to 16 were consistent to the master plan, but the 17 and 18, for Chris, we need to review a little more.
Yeah, those are the two that I think that the committee's anxious to expedite, so I don't know that would necessarily be practical for this evening's meeting. The FV and the MV seem to be fine as written. I guess, Jackie, that's the language that you changed. Right.
Oh, that's in
Well,
there
the
too.
RA is in there as well.
013.
There's basically three sister ordinances with all.
I thought we were changing 13.
two of them.
Yeah, we're at 17 and 18.
You didn't see Chrissy's last email, addendum to the agenda. Initially, there was only 2 ordinances included in our packet, and then there became 5. 7, okay.
Yep, but I understood initially we're not,
Right, that's-
it's the package.
about the last two.
Yeah, there's no changes in 13. 13 to 16 is what Jackie said initially.
Right. 12
There's no
through
change,
16
it's included,
What?
12
in the-
through 16 remains what it is. It's only
Yeah, it's just
17 and
17 and 18, yeah.
RA's not an issue.
Okay.
Well, RA has the same language as those two, so with the frontage situation.
This new ordinance doesn't address frontage that's less than 150 feet.
It's just the, RA is just the 12. Yeah, and
16 you're looking at?
01225.
He's looking at,
Yeah, section 1, article, 8A, 1A.
Correct, right? It
Yeah,
doesn't address
yeah, it just
frontage.
says yards requirement, no minimum lot area.
So,
It wasn't an issue, though, was it? It's not an issue. That's not what, 17 and 18?
17 and 18.
is the intent
Is it-
behind
is the red line,
their
is the cross
change
house.
to make lots that used to be conforming with the frontage was
12 came back from
135.
the recommendation, right? As written from the master plan?
Not 17 and 18.
12.
12,
12 to 16.
yes, exactly. And
Okay,
the
so
planner said that
that
they
was-
are exactly.
It was just the way, 12 to 16 was just the way we sent it to them. It's coming back only as part of the package, and there's no
Exactly,
changes.
because when they introduce, they have to send it back to the planning board for a report that it is consistent. with
That is
the master
consistent,
plan.
all
Or
right.
not, right.
All right, so I
now
got
the
it.
other part, 17 and 18, you're asked to do the same thing. Is what's being proposed in 17 and 18 consistent with the
17
master
and
plan?
18 came up recently with that woman that came to the meeting and couldn't put an addition.
Right,
That's where that came from.
okay.
So the
Yeah, but-
question that you guys are addressing now is, do you want to send it back just saying that except as necessary to accommodate yard requirements as set forth in the ordinance, no minimum lot area or frontage is required?
Yes, but we also want to include that in 01225, because that was the intent, and that was the discussion at the master plan, reexamination committee, which that's where this all started from.
I don't have 12.
12 should be on the front.
Mine starts with 13. That's okay. So the same thing is 12.
Yeah, I could, you want my copy as well?
I do now. Thank you.
Okay.
For those of you that were at the Master Plan Review Committee, I brought in front of the committee an application that happened in front of the zoning board approximately 2 years ago on Stanton Avenue by a resident named Andy Tonia. He lives on a substandard lot based on 2023, but when he bought his property in 1978, he had 135 feet and 1 acre. And in 2023, we said it had to be an acre and a half and 150 feet, and he was forced to attend the zoning board meeting to ask for variances. And he spent in excess of $5,000 between an attorney and escrows and application fee. And I brought it forth to the planning board master plan review committee, and we all felt we don't need to do this because in 1978 it was a lot. Now, going back to Malaga Village and Franklinville Village, the 1950s, those lots are much smaller. But anytime one of those residents today comes in front of the zoning officer for a small addition, they have to obtain a zoning variance because they live on a substandard lot. The intent for all 3 of these ordinances, 12, 17, and 18, is to eliminate that step and make it easier for our residents. That was the intent. And if we do not include the word frontage, we are not completing our task.
Of what was recommended at the,
Eliminate the minimum frontage on all three.
What happens if somebody comes to with 10 feet? You're talking about RA, it's, you're talking about RA now, right?
Right.
His lot could be huge, but he don't have any frontage.
He has to have frontage.
10 foot.
Okay.
This is what we went through.
Yeah, about 2 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotta watch what you're saying.
Right, you open a can of worms there. 17 and 18, I
That's
can
for the board
under,
to decide, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Everything is different. If you do this, everything's the same.
you're doing the whole town, you're not doing the 2 villages.
It gets a bad precedent.
I understand.
Well, what if we set a minimum frontage for pre-existing lots?
I think everything is different. I think everything's different.
12 is what the committee recommended.
No,
The-
12 was.
No, I'm sorry. 12 is what the master plan committee
Right.
recommended.
Yeah.
Out of that, the township committee looked at it and they added 17 and 18.
17,
Correct.
18.
right,
Because of the problems that.
in the 2 villages.
Are they just trying to fix 17 and 18?
Yes.
With the verbiage?
But the verbiage in 12 is not correct either with the intent of what was presented by the master plan committee. If you have the intent was if you have an pre-existing, I'm going to use this as an example, 100 by 150 foot lot in Newfield Terrace, that you would be able to come in as long as you met these setbacks and obtain a permit to build without going in front of the zoning board for a variance. And that's what we're trying to accomplish here. So
Newfield, what?
Terrace.
Newfield Terrace, or I'm using that as a,
Newfield Terrace, is that RA? Or is that-
No,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
oh, it is.
It's MV.
no,
It's RA.
It's RA?
I think it's a dangerous thing to just eliminate any frontage requirements, because then you're basically going down to that example where.
You're going down to
lot, right, the lot could be large in the back, but there's only frontage, so maybe a minimum
Yeah.
frontage.
minimum frontage of like 100 feet.
And would it open the door for flag lots? Because I have the minimal frontage, or,
Well, anything
gonna have
less
less
than
than
100, yeah.
They're
It's
the
a
ones
flag.
that are gonna have the 10 feet.
Right, that's what the zoning board went for, right?
Correct.
The 10 foot of frontage.
Which the 100-foot frontage is consistent with the current grandfather clause under 253-106, which establishes a, minimum lot size and 100-foot of lot width. But, so, I'd recommend 100-foot, minimum 100-foot frontage.
For all districts.
No, for the,
Oh,
for
for
O12,
RA.
for
For
012, 01225, yeah. So basically, the sentence would be, except as necessary to accommodate the yard restrictions below with no minimum lot area and a minimum lot frontage of 100 feet.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
That eliminates all flag
What's
lots.
the minimum lot size now?
150,
150.
but it's an acre and a half.
Jackie, go ahead.
So, I think you can't eliminate minimum, any kind of minimum frontage, you have to have some standards. Now, the question is it 50, 75, fire truck requirement?
Right now, it's 150 feet.
But that's in the RA, right?
Right. that's
We're
what
talking about the
they're
RA, we're
We're not
specific.
talking about-
No, we're not talking about
Not
county
talking about
buildings. Yeah,
17 or 18.
yeah, we're talking about RA. Yeah.
So,
100, I think, is reasonable. Yeah.
Well, Jackie, just so I understand the procedure, we've been asked to look at 17 and 18, we've been asked to look at 17 and 18.
All of them, all of them.
The issue is
So-
only, the new stuff you're saying is 17 and 18.
So we would be accepting we would be accepting 17 and 18 and sending it back, and the RA comment can go back to the township committee to do what they please at that point.
your task is to review it for consistency with the master plan and report back whether something is consistent or inconsistent and why you believe it's inconsistent, if that's your conclusion. With recommendations, you certainly can make recommendations. Township committee gets to vote on that. They could still adopt 17, 18, the
Whatever
way
they
they
want.
drafted them.
Right.
We
It's
could not
just-
accept their
Yes,
comment.
yes. It's
Okay.
just for report and response. That's it. You're not voting on what they're voting on, they're the ones that. we
They're
have
the ones that voted, that's what I'm trying to
Normally
get to.
35 days, and we didn't have a meeting, so they extended, and I think they gave us an extension up till the end of the month, or maybe the next
Okay.
meeting, which is December 9th, but you have to, I mean, a consensus, maybe it's not it's a majority, maybe it's not unanimous, what the report back should be, and obviously if there are comments that are inconsistent with the majority, and we can certainly include those comments as a report back.
As a report back, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yep.
All right, so we're acknowledging, we reviewed the report 12 through 18,
Right.
and we recognize that 17 and 18 had changes from what we originally submitted to them.
No,
didn't have
17 and 18 did not get submitted.
We
Okay, you added it, got it, all right, I'm trying to get the verbiage right here. And then if there's any comments, at that point in time, we can send it back to the township committee.
With the comments that, I mean, I think probably you have to make a.
Well, the first comment would be on the 17 and 18 to include or frontage.
Is that a consensus?
I'm trying to get it pulled together so we can get a consensus here. And I'm trying to break out the individual, different comments. So it was reviewed, would be consistent, and they're adding the word or frontage on the ordinance 17 and 18. All right, that gets us to that point. All right. Does anyone else want any other comments added to that besides that?
Well, just that there's a, on 18, there is, under, in the sentence permitted uses shall be as follows, there's a typo on for frontage.
Okay, that's a side note. Chris will take care of the typo.
Yeah.
Well, can I also just clarify that the revisions to 17 and 18, which took out that copy and
Right.
paste, everybody agreed to that, and.
Right, and that's going to be, right? We're taking that out? Yep.
Correct.
Okay. All right, that gets us to that point.
And then their comments about 12 will go back to the board, right? Or to the
Yes,
county
well, we
committee.
didn't talk about 12 yet, right? We're talking about 17 and 18 so far. And then, are there comments on 12 that the board wants to include?
Well, I mean, these guys have.
Well, it's been kicked around the
I
minimum
just-
frontage of 100 feet.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I would.
And it
agree.
rules out flag lots, which
It
is your
doesn't really
concern.
rule out flag lots, right?
Well, I don't consider 100-foot frontage in the RA area a flag
You come to the
lot.
meetings all the time, I mean, they grant.
Oh, they do, they
25
do.
feet, so.
Yeah, but we're saying 100-foot minimum.
And this is only for existing,
Already.
pre-existing non-conforming lots, right?
If somebody has a non-conforming lot for 100, with 100 feet, they can still get their variance.
They don't need a variance,
Okay.
because they have if they have 100 feet or
They
more,
would need one today.
they would need one today,
Okay.
yes. And that was the intent of the board to eliminate.
To eliminate the necessity of those type of variances.
Okay. Do I have a motion? Or is there any other comments, first off, on the, hearing none?
I'm going to thank the
Hearing none?
board for considering these changes.
Okay. Over there. All right, I need a motion on this to send it back to township committee with the comments that were made.
I make a motion, as a report back to the committee, with the comments as discussed,
Second?
this evening.
Motion second?
Second.
Okay. Chris?
Mr. Brandt?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Malady?
Yes.
Mr. Swade?
Yes.
Mr. Travagliano?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Abstain.
Chairman Pesh?
Yes. Okay. Sir, you ready? Okay, now we'll have SP 25-01 Plain Farms LLC. Good evening, Counselor.
Pardon me?
I said good evening, Counselor.
We are here to consider, or we are bringing before you an application concerning block 1306, lot 34. It's on Delsey Drive opposite Brooks Auction House. It's a 2.41 acre property zoned highway commercial. The proposed use is for a flex space for contractor office and storage units. This is an allowed use in the zone, so we don't need to seek a use variance. And it also meets all the area and bulk requirements for the zone. But you'll hear greater detailed testimony from our engineer, Bill Gilmore, but I do want to take a little bit of time in the front to just identify what variances and waivers we are asking for so that he can be aware of them as he makes his presentation. So we are requesting a reduction of the agricultural buffer for the rear of the property, which is adjacent to some Farm Q lots. The requirement is 100 feet, and we are proposing to reduce it down to 25 feet. As you know, the purpose of the buffer requirement is to cut down on complaints from that farmers would get from adjoining property owners regarding noise, dust, odors, and normal farming operations. In this case, we're proposing a commercial use, being basically contractors with trucks and storage who are highly unlikely to be negatively affected and therefore complaining about the farming operations next door. A reduction of the buffer is appropriate in this particular circumstance, and I would say that it's a preferable alternative that will not impair the intent and purpose of the zoning code. So you'll see that when the engineer shows you the plan. The second thing we're requesting is for the board to determine the appropriate width of the side yard buffers with residential uses on the side of the lot, sides of the lot. The ordinance curiously gives a buffer range of 25 to 50 feet depending on the use. This really leaves it up to the board to decide if the 25 feet that we are proposing is sufficient. The next one is a variance from providing designated loading spaces for each unit. As the reviewing engineer has pointed out, there are loading areas that are evident on the plans, but I guess maybe it's not marked on the ground. We'll get more testimony about that. But you'll see that there are loading areas basically for each of the 8 units that are being proposed. We request a design waiver from providing sidewalk along Delsey Drive. In this part of Delsey Drive, there are no sidewalks on either side of us, and it's also not an area where we do see a lot of foot traffic. And providing the sidewalks will not really provide a benefit to either the users of this property or the public. So that's one of the things we're asking to be waived. The last 2 design waivers we're asking for are regarding the building design itself. The ordinance requires that facades of longer than 100 feet vary up the look by having projection or recesses along at least 20% of the facade. We do have some buildings here that are longer than 100 feet, and what you'll see. What you will see is that the architect has put in, and this is an example, this is a 140-foot long building. What you'll see is on the long sides of the building, there are windows and doors that break up that look. So really, there is some visual interest there. It doesn't just look like a big, swath of siding. So I think that the architect has done a job. But anyway, that's one of the things we're asking for. And the second thing about the building is for the siding itself. The ordinance prohibits prefabricated metal panels and aluminum siding as primary building facade materials. I don't really understand why we have that in our ordinance, because so many people in Franklin Township have pole barns and agricultural structures whose primary facade is metal panels, and I'll bet we get a lot of requests for variances from that particular part of the ordinance. But anyway, it's there, so we're going to be asking for a design waiver for that. So I have two witnesses to be sworn in. We have, two gentlemen will come up. We have the applicant, George Maloof, and we have Bill Gilmore, the site engineer.
Would you both raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give before this board will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
So with that, I'd like to have the engineer go into greater detail about the design.
Can I bring it closer? Okay, so this is a colored rendition of the site plan that was submitted with the application. We've added an arrow behind it for some context, and it has a color to it to help point out different features on the site. To orient you to the plan, north is almost straight up in this direction. Delsey Drive is running vertical on the page, and then the lot is wider along Delsey Drive, and it narrows down as we get to the rear. The farm that Tara was speaking to is in the back area here on the side. We have the zoning district limit line that doesn't quite bifurcate the site, but it does the lots surrounding it. The start line here, that looks about the rear of the property down. Everything to the right is the RA district, everything to the left is highway commercial district, and across the street is a highway commercial district as well, where it flips off. So we have one major access point. We're proposing a full access, full movement driveway. We do have an application in for the DOT. We have received our first initial feedback from them. They didn't have any issues with the drive or location. They have some other technical things that we're taking care of. So you enter the site through this driveway. It is 24 feet wide, and then as you proceed in, it consists of, you can see 4 buildings that are on ground, and each building is subdivided to a separate unit. We have 8 units within the 4 buildings. As you drive in, there's each unit and building, each unit in the building has its own loading area. There's an overhead door in this location, and the overhead door in this location seen along the northern facade of the building. They all have the overhead door, and door, second doors, and door entries, and the overhead door for truck. Each unit has that. They're in the rear outside of the rest of the buildings. We provided 30 parking spaces. People only need 9 for this use. The way the building is set up, it has an office and a bathroom, very small area, and a storage area for the truck. So how it would work is a box truck or a pickup truck van can pull in and park in the building area. If you open the door back in, you can go in there. They have a bathroom and office, and so it's set up for 8 units. Or if we have one client that wants to take the whole thing, they could take the whole thing. So it's very simple, 4 buildings laid out. There's a nice architectural look, and the stone along the bottom and the building on the sides. The stormwater management system is porous paving. There's really not a lot of room on the site to do that, so we're doing porous paving on it to handle that. The site will be serviced by well and septic, obviously, in this area, so we do have a well that will feed the entire complex, and also sanitary sewage here in here. This is the 25-foot buffer that we're requesting from the agriculture zone there, and the 25 years. There's natural trees in here, you see some woods. We're on this side. In that area, we're proposing to maintain the woods and just supplement some plantings that you can see through this issue. On the areas here where there are no woods, we're proposing a double row of trees along the side. We have an ID sign on the southern side of the driveway. We have clear sight distances with no issues. And that's essentially the project.
Quick question. Just talk zoning. The front 300 feet of the property is in highway commercial,
Yes,
and the rear 200 or whatever it is, because of the crazy line, is in RA.
No, actually, our whole site is in highway commercial, but the adjacent sites, this is the zoning.
Okay, so the neighbors are only 300 feet.
Right, on this side, but this entire lot to the south is in the AC district. We have the buffers because even though the AC district it appears that they are utilized as the residential use.
So the current zoning, where you have the dotted line at the top there, the current zoning does take that turn and goes around your back. It doesn't split that line.
No, it comes down this way.
Okay.
So Bill, the use to the north is what, and the use to the south is what?
Yeah, this is residential, this appears to be residential and maybe some type of commercial use as a home, possibly, not exactly sure.
Chris, I have a procedural question here. How come there's no drawings? All I have is the conceptual.
There's not drawings in there?
The drawing package.
That should be in there. You mean that drawing?
Yeah, all of the whole package of drawings.
Yeah, we don't have that.
If you have a full set on this one.
No, each board member typically has.
No. All we have is typography.
Sorry, I should read up.
Okay, not a problem, not a problem.
Thank you.
There is, but it only shows the three sides. Shows the building. Sorry about that.
So Bill, while these guys are looking at this plan, I have a question for you. This pervious paving, what happens to that pervious paving when it gets clogged up with dirt and everything else? And
There's a maintenance plan promulgated by the DEP. They have to vacuum 4 times a year. There's a lot of things they have to do to maintain that. They installed it. We'll have signs on there for landscaping people. Obviously, come in, whoever maintains it, not seal coated, not to sand it. The advantage of the porous paving is, you get the heat from underneath, so any precipitation that hits it, pulls right in at 24 hours, so that works very well. Doesn't really form ice. Snow may take a little bit, to melt down. We do provide some areas for stockpile of snow. That's also required. We are required to provide a maintenance manual, which, at every storm, we have to check in alcohol governance. And that we document that they have action. If they out, then that's
agreed on.
Joe, and this is for both Joe. The 24-foot driveway and all these driveways, and then with each other driveway fronting the each storage unit, is that sufficient for fire equipment?
Yeah, we can get yours.
That floor's good.
Yeah.
I was concerned about the dumpster. I just want to make sure the dumpster's back there, but I seen it on the electronic. I looked at all that prior to coming. But yeah. That should be more.
You did get a letter from the.
Yep, I read it all. Yep.
Joe, give me this, I can't find that. Give me this other, please.
I read his letter on electronic.
Oh, electronic,
Yeah,
okay.
everything's electronic.
Is there any other comments on there?
It was a dumpster, it was the driveway straight shot back.
Right.
It was the well, requesting 550 gallons of a well, he was asking for a well.
Structure sign.
Yeah, a sign, you want to make sure there's a sign out front, which you just said.
Property address.
Yeah, just the normal stuff.
Normal stuff, yeah.
No, I'm not sure at this point if you can, if you have the information, but on the wall between unit C and D, is that a firewall penetrating through, or is that just a dividing wall to separate the two units, or is that a firewall going up through the roof?
In between the suites.
Yeah, in between the suites. I'm going to defer to,
That's actually a good question.
About that. I'm not sure if we're setting them up as a pre-unit. Will this be a firewall going through, or are you going to construct this depending on what
We're going to construct the wall if somebody wants to do it. Someone might take a whole unit, so there's no need for a wall. And if they need to construct the wall, then we'll do it according to code. Whatever, like we get a permit to put the wall in.
The purpose of the question, and they were longer than 100 feet, but once the fire started in the storage unit, it ran the entire unit. And what I'm looking at is that if you're putting multiple tenants within the same building, that wall is not just a
Partition.
sheetrock partition, that it's a true firewall to protect the rest of the building, is where I'm heading with it, the comment, or the question. Terry, you had, earlier you had made a comment with regards to the metal siding of the building. I agree with you that the pole barns in the backyard are metal clad, but when we were in the corridors and the dollar stores were coming up who wanted to do the exact same thing, the thought process there is the front of the building. I understand the pieces in the back that's out of sight, but at least the front of the first unit and the sidewalls to a point of some kind of brick or stone or something decorative, rather than a metal building sitting out on the edge of 47. So, it was your attorney made a good shot at it, comparing it to pole barns in people's backyards, but quite honestly, that's not going to fly.
So what Joe is saying, as depicted in your rendering for the front building,
Yeah,
the rear buildings, not so much.
right. They'll be, right, and the view from Belsey Gut, you really won't even see that.
Correct.
You'll see them angularly, but not, yeah.
Are all the buildings expected to have that stone
Yes.
up along the bottom?
Yeah, I have all.
That's nice look, nice
The
look.
first building, we can agree to make it stone all the way across.
The whole face of the building?
Sure. I mean, if that's what you guys.
Yeah. It's the architectural piece of it, going down Delsey Drive is the intent there. And yeah, your attorney's not the first one to try that, and it hasn't worked yet.
Yeah.
So the top rendering is what will be visible from Delsey, right? The very top drawing?
Right.
So technically, it's the rear of the building, but visible from Delsey, right?
Yeah.
I said something architectural coming down the drive rather than just.
Is there also landscaping provided in front of that facade?
Yeah, we have landscaping all along the
Right.
foundation landings.
Okay.
Trees as well.
Gotcha.
Are there stone on the facade of all those buildings, like a? That's what we're asking. 3 foot up?
Yes, right here.
Yeah.
On all four sides, for all four buildings?
All 4 buildings,
Yeah, I printed out all four, you guys, I gave it in the packet, I don't know if you.
No, I just want to be clear as to where, is that just?
That's gonna be on all the buildings?
Building
Yes.
3.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, and that's what I'm referring to. I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, it's here, every building has some stone somewhere.
Well, the middle two renderings don't, and that, the one you're holding, there's no stone at the bottom.
Okay, building 3, the long sides both have stone at the bottom, which this one short side does, and this one short side does not. So on building 3, one of the sides does not.
That's the property line facing that you're not going to see, right?
It's woody.
Yeah.
Stone along all these.
Right.
And this side, is just no stone.
Understood.
Okay, all right, and that's what I'm referring
You have
to.
that continuity,
Yeah.
you drive in, and
Mhm.
move, like, you go in and go out.
So this, and this building 4 here, this rear that faces the farm, that does not have stone on the
Yeah,
bottom.
that's fine.
I think the architect could do something, maybe have all stone on the front, and right now, what he's doing, this is good architect.
Something to break it up.
Break it up.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yes.
I mean, I know this is kind of, probably too early to ask this question, because there's spaces that you're looking to rent, lease out, but it's hours of operation, just because there's residential in the north and the residential in the south. Is there, do Do you know, who's gonna be in there? Like, is there an hours of operation, or you don't really know anything about that yet?
Let me just make a little bit of commentary. I thought about that we might get that question. And it's not like a retail operation. I think it really is gonna come down to maybe what kind of lighting is there. But a truck, a guy or gal coming at night, after work to go in there and unload their stuff and get ready for the next day, that's the kind of thing that you're gonna have in these units. You're not gonna have constant, like, in and out traffic with retail customers.
We're not gonna have a guy fixing heavy equipment. at
2 o'clock in the
9
morning,
at night.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what we're worried about.
Yeah,
That's
right.
We get the retail aspect, I mean, every retail usually shuts at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Some guy's just gonna go in there and fix heavy equipment at nighttime.
yeah.
That's gonna cause us problems.
So,
I just have a quick question. Can you just clarify what type of businesses might be coming in to make sure it's consistent with the use and the zone?
yeah, well, the, contractor, generally, contractor businesses, I mean,
Landscape.
service,
Landscapers, contractors, plumbers, electricians, they need the space to keep their vans, keep their material, storage.
They might have some office spaces in there to work at night or whatever, but you're not gonna have triaxles coming in there.
Yes.
right.
These, they call them like office warehouse. So it's a space to store your material, and at the same time, you can have a conference room with your customers at the same time.
You said landscapers. Will you have any outside storage going on? Everything will be in the
There's
building?
no space.
How about number of employees? Would you anticipate number of employees for project?
Depends on these contractors and what landscapers.
So the good thing is that there's a lot of parking spaces for each one. So a contractor could have a couple of employees come and park, and then you all get in one truck together and go to the job site.
So the septic field that you show, since you don't know who's going to be in the buildings and you don't know the employees, have you done any prelim calcs to account for the size of that?
Yeah, we're working with South Jersey engineers who's designing it. Yeah, it'll be pumped in, and they take into account the warehouse and the bathroom costs. So it is kind of self-limiting to the design.
Right. Okay.
It's going to probably be.
Will there be any restricted uses that you're not going to allow there? Like, an auto repair shop, like if somebody wanted to put a couple lifts in their shop.
Yeah, in my experience with other properties I have, when I have a new tenant moving in, first they need to apply for a CO.
Right.
So it's really up to you guys, like, when I have a new tenant, they want to rent the space.
We found that, believe it or not, most people are honest. We come to believe most people aren't honest about their intentions. Not
Honest
saying
enough
you,
to get it
but, I mean, that's how it all starts out, right? Yeah, sure, give them a CO, and next thing you know.
And the chair did not say that.
So I want to address Mayor Bruno. I want to circle back to what you mentioned about people coming in and not having these loud noise at night and stuff. I think we should put some restriction in, not that the contractor can't come in at 11 o'clock
I'm not talking about a
at
guy
night.
coming back in and
Right.
it's dark or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen.
You're not gonna be loading bulldozers at midnight getting ready for the next day.
There's no space.
Right.
Yes.
Listen,
I know we can get.
you'll be surprised when you find out about this place.
Could you speak a little
Loading
bit?
and unloading after a certain time, or?
It's really just installed, contractor van, carpet guys, electricians, stuff like that. It's not really.
When somebody's dropping a van off, picking up their personal vehicle and it's 10 o'clock, I mean.
So you've done this before, I assume?
Yeah, we have spaces like this.
This is going to be an interesting resolution for Jackie, right?
Can you
Yeah.
say,
Not sure what.
What you're ready?
can
So-
you restrict the operating of machinery? Maybe that, that.
So I have a question for the applicant, and maybe you can clear some of this up. The only activity that's going to take place in these buildings, based on what you're saying, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, is storage and ancillary office use. Is that correct?
Storage and office
Okay. No repair of equipment? No manufacturing of anything?
Fabricating?
No fabrication of any?
They can't do, that's not the zone for.
Well, no, I agree with you. It's
That's why
not.
we're
That's why I'm asking you to place that on the record, yeah.
We comply with the township codes, you know.
Now, is it possible that you would have a retail facility to any extent there? Or a retail showroom, which I believe is permitted?
It is permitted.
If you had a kitchen cabinet contract, you could have something like that. But again, there would be no manufacturing of cabinetry there. There would be maybe a showroom, but there no manufacturing of granite countertops or anything like that. So it's strictly storage, office, and any permitted retail that's allowable in the zone, essentially, is what you're saying. Right. Okay.
As long as we still restrict the operation of heavy machinery, that's kind of.
I know.
No, no repair, no auto repair, none of those type of uses.
You can store it, but you can't operate it.
Right, yeah.
Sorry?
Right? You would restrict the operation, the operations of any machinery.
Yeah, I think you could, yeah,
I mean, you can store machinery, you just can't operate it.
Can't operate machinery, no
Is permitted.
manufacturing, no fabrication.
Yeah.
And retail hours, you have to limit,
Mhm.
obviously, if there's potential for retail use.
I mean, that's
You wanna
that's a
limit that.
loose,
I gotta say-
that's a bold restriction, because I mean, in
Yeah.
my shop, we have 10 scissor lifts that are getting loaded, they're electric, we have, a boom lift, I mean, define machinery.
Yeah, operating machinery.
Now, there's a way,
Well-
machinery with tracks, you can't bring it in there, because that's gonna
Right.
take all the asphalt off.
There is no
You know, if somebody operates a machinery with tracks over there, they're gonna have a big
No,
problem.
I think that's the question, thank you.
We always fall back on the sound ordinance as well, and enforce it, under the sound ordinance.
You intend to retain ownership of this project? Is that your intention, to retain the ownership of the project?
Yes.
Okay, and you're proposing 8 units. It'll be 8 or less units. You don't intend on dividing them further in the additional units, correct?
No,
Right.
not more than 8. No.
So 8 or less?
And we might have one tenant that's gonna take the whole thing.
The whole thing, right?
No storage of vehicles other than what may be kept inside the building.
Excuse me?
No storage of vehicles.
No storage?
Of vehicles in the
Outside.
parking area overnight.
Yeah.
No, they might not, if they have work vans, they'll probably be there all the time.
Yeah, they're gonna run a business.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
would see them.
yeah, I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, like, you can't say no storage there. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions, or I'd like to move on with our engineer planner's report, review? Who would you like to go first there, Ed?
Okay, I'll go first. All right, let's see.
Probably not.
Yes.
Can you provide some clarification about the
Jerry,
treatment devices
trust
on
her.
any of the roof leaders before entering the pervious pavement?
Yeah, we're gonna do, probably,
Can I hear the question again? I didn't hear the question.
All right. Can you provide clarification on the pre-treatment devices for the roof leaders?
Certainly, we're proposing gutters, we've got now, the gutters, and they'll have these filters on and trap them in the suction system.
Sure.
We did have the opportunity to review a letter, and we are in compliance with all the items. We initially submitted it, and then we received the review letter, we responded to that letter, and really just a few minor comments that we are willing to just to comply. Objective on that. So it could be my
Perfect. That was going to be my next question.
Yeah. There's nothing that we will not comply with. I think we've satisfied probably 90% of the letter. There's a couple of housekeeping items where we
Do you have a plan for the maintenance of the Furby's pavement?
Yes, we'll submit that, if we didn't, we will, standard maintenance plan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just referenced CME report, page number 4. We identified 2 variances, and I think the applicant already requested relief from them. That 100-foot wide agricultural buffer to the rear yard of the property, loading and unloading for commercial spaces, and you also identify a couple of design exceptions and waivers for the sidewalk, a landscape buffer between 25 to 50 feet, and the building design. I think we already went through that. At least if we recommend that the main building along the frontage, if we could have some recesses, that's our recommendation. I think the board emphasized that as well. And then our planning comments, I think the applicant addressed most of our planning comments. Could you speak a little bit to recycling and refuse? We realize you have 1 for 8 units. We just wanted to understand how recycling will be handled, refuse and recycling.
Sure, so we're going to have independent pickup of not captured with the contracted pickup. We asked them, we're going to have 2 bins in there, 1 for recycling and 1 for trash. As I guess in your experience with the other facilities, how do you handle that? Small business, do these sites generate a lot of trash? Office,
Usually they have dumpsters, they rent dumpsters out.
We're working cycles, so we're providing 1 for them as accommodation.
These are, as they're not manufacturing facilities, they're just for storage, there isn't much trash.
Right. So we do have the ability to put 2 dumpsters in there, 1 for recycling, 1 for that. And we can work with the engineer to make sure the size is appropriately, maybe just a little wider than the 2. Obviously, if they are being filled up more than we anticipate, we just increase the schedule of, dumping down a little bit to go home. Maybe we take it to, do it appropriately.
How about mechanical equipment? You're anticipating mechanical equipment, and where are they located? Are they roof mounted or on site?
HVAC?
HVAC, yes.
What's the our understanding is
All the repairs. Permitted. Yeah, I'm reading it right now.
Units are not gonna have there's gonna be just a
Don't think so.
for the office space. A mini split for the office. But then there's gonna be like a heater, forced air heater.
Highway commercial business.
Just the shop that your unit.
Permitted uses. I don't say anything about any overage.
Understood. We just want to make sure all those are screened. Those are most of my comments, Mr. Chair.
The landscaping plan, especially as it pertains to the property line on the north and the south next to the residential areas. What's the plan? What are those plans?
They don't meet the conditions.
Different species, I think they're definitely evergreen, variety like that, we go together.
Do you know the name? Do you have the plans there?
Fueling stations.
Huh? Is it in green? Is it Green Giant?
Eastern Red Cedar Assassin.
It's not specified.
Eastern Red Cedar Assassin.
Permeable pavement.
All right.
In addition, we had a single row.
Nah, you should ask him to explain it.
Okay.
Double row.
Well, yeah.
Before you, I'm sorry, go ahead. Can you point out the location of the electric vehicle charging stations and how many parking stalls you have in total?
Yeah, so we will do three, one for each one. Those look like they're marked here. They'll be close to the office area, so I'm running service there. So we'll have one for each.
Is your electric above ground or underground? What type of trucks are you gonna have on site? You're gonna pull out like a WB-67?
No, definitely not.
Yep.
So I think what we're anticipating is maybe small box truck, pickup trucks, vans, stuff like that. Amazon, for example, contractors that would move through and see that. It'll fit.
Are you expecting any like deliveries or anything that might exceed that?
No, I think it's, if it's come to warehouse, something like this, you definitely think it's something. Again, the contract price stuff. It's very large items, I think the space is something. I see what the way it
Go, Jackie.
I was going to say, just have to address the request, the landscape of 25 to 50 feet before you vote on it.
Yep.
Question for Bill, the engineer. The pervious cover for the parking is something new to me. I see asphalt, I see concrete, and then I see crushed stone. What is this proposed covering?
So this is very similar. You also see, we work a lot with coarse concrete. So basically what it is it's the same mix of asphalt, just use a little different binder to it. So it's called open friction grade. So what happens is the ring immediately goes through it. So it has a 20 inch per hour grade. So you can take, a column of 20 inch of water and just go right down. So
Not to be confused with asphalt millings?
definitely different. Yeah, asphalt
Okay,
millings are
that's what I was afraid of.
No, they're not good. Yeah, so this is the DEP requirement, so it's 4 or 5 inches of friction coarse asphalt. There's one that's sand right underneath that sugar course, and we have crushed stone underneath that. So the water immediately goes through it, and it's dispersed throughout the stone, the voids of it, and then it goes into the ground.
How common is that today in construction?
Very common now. The DEP really gives us only a few options. An open basin, which is difficult if you have a shallow groundwork table, because they have rules of rounding outs and stuff like that. So the groundwork would come up and intercept the basin and work. Of course, asphalt we use in areas, in conditions where, the site is kind of limited constraint, trying to, not waste land on a stormwater basin. It's appropriate for that. And areas, again, are shallow works. If you dig a basin, you're already 3 feet to the ground, and if it's shallow, you can't meet that. If you do it porous, you only foot and a half feet into the ground based on the thickness. So that does work for that. It is more common now because, again, it's one of the few things you can do.
So it's like a hot mix, and it's all rolled, and it doesn't need regrading or anything like that.
But again, we field tested when they put it in to make sure it's supported. We reject the load.
Interesting. That was actually one of the fire marshal's questions. He wanted to make sure it's substantial 75,000 pounds.
Yeah, it was rated for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like it's just like the regular boat, right? It's just open friction. Gives you better traction. Yeah. It's not sealed at all. The main thing to worry about is someone come back and slice you on it. I choke it off, but then get up nothing. So it's standing. Again, it is vacuum every quarter. As needed, so when it stops working, you'll know.
Ed, do you have any experience with this pervious asphalt, like in the field? Yeah.
We've used it in a couple locations, seen it in a couple locations.
Yeah.
And it's being used more often where you're moving space for infrastructure.
The state's actually encouraging.
I'm not suggesting that, we would restrict the use, but I'm just curious, like, what the longevity is and what's, the maintenance seems to be the biggest issue.
As long as it's maintained accurately and correctly and routinely, it will last as long as the rest of the asphalt. It shouldn't be an issue.
It's probably like 20 years old. It's just more asphalt.
So I guess as far from an enforcement standpoint, it's no different than any other stormwater management plan. in the event that there was a failure?
Yep.
I got you.
Would act the same.
Right.
Are you planning to do post-construction testing on the pervious pavement to confirm the permeability?
I think it's required.
I believe it is, yeah.
And we'll have a geotech the construction.
What about signage? You have plans for signage?
We do.
For ADUs?
Yeah.
Oh, for the tenants, different tenants, would you have different signs or just one ground-mounted sign?
We
Or
have one ID sign.
And that's it?
I think we need for the fire marshal to have little address, so you're not be able to write in the corner, so you come in, emergency, and go through the area. But as far as individual signage, I'm not sure. You have your ID sign as a storage facility, you rent for tenants and have signs. Everybody would have like a sign on top of their building, like on top of their, like here on top of
By the door.
By the doors or by the door. That shows the name of their company. Actually, we're named them like 1A, 1B, 2A, 3B, 3A.
Right. That's for the building, but identifying the tenant, it would be a sign on the door, above the door type of thing. No signs out, freestanding signs out into the parking lot area. You're talking.
No, we just have the site, the ID sign.
Yeah, just the ID sign. Right, exactly. Okay, I just want to clarify that. Ed, do you have anything else on your team? Any other?
I just want to ask Jackie, are you satisfied that the intended use meets the requirements for the permitted, for the IC?
Yeah, I mean, I think it does, within the parameters of the testimony that we've heard tonight.
Okay.
Can I,
Yep.
So I just want to, because we had a lot of discussions about the operational machinery, so I just want to clarify, where did we land on that? We're not going to use that language, you can't operate machinery. We're more concerned about noise restrictions and not working on cars, or, whatever, like that, those kind of restrictions, but not.
You're not gonna have an overnight mechanic working on working on an excavator that they use for trenching at midnight, because
As far as how that language gets into the.
I don't know if that language belongs in there. My thought is, and I'll leave it to the members of the board here, my thought is that we enforce the noise ordinance, and if you're out there at midnight running a jackhammer, you're going to get a visit by a cop, and then on the second time, you're going to be sitting in front of the judge, and enforce under the noise, rather than trying to micromanage the one application. We just depend on the ordinances that are in place and enforce it that way. I'm not sure where the rest of them.
I mean, could you say something like, restrict the operations of the operating of machinery that violates the sound ordinance?
I don't think it, I refer to the attorney.
You have to, because that is restricted by.
It's already there.
I think what we're concerned with is the noise, not necessarily operating. As to, what Kyle said, you can't restrict somebody from operating a small piece of machinery that doesn't make any noise. That's not fair either. But the issue is the sound, is the noise.
Yeah, the concern is the house to the north and south.
Yeah.
They would have to be consistent.
After hours. Yeah, I'm only concerned about, 2 o'clock in the morning.
I have one further question, and I'm not sure if I wrote this down correctly, Karen. Variance from the designated loading area on each unit. I didn't think we heard any testimony.
That was,
Yeah.
and they talked about how you could pull a truck up to the overhead door and pull in and unload, materials or something. I think so the question for the board is that acceptable, or do you want somebody to identify and strike out something on the ground that says this is the loading of stone?
I think that's gonna be their only
I think
option.
it's self-explanatory, yeah.
Yeah, so we can have a waiver then of that requirement, designate. Okay.
I think our comments are related to the fact it's not just identified. That's all.
Yeah, okay.
You also have 8 units that are shown on there, and you only have 4 theoretically, access points from that perspective. So if you're gonna have additional loading zones, you just need to have the appropriate striping.
Actually, yeah.
You have it over there?
One end.
All right, you did, okay. Is the forest pavement, just for clarification purposes, forest pavement, which color,
It's
is
the
it lighter one?
As a landlord, I would think you would want to have people, tenants in there that are, very workable with the neighbors. Like if you have somebody in there that's not a good tenant, that you push it out, do what you have to do.
Absolutely.
And get the best people in there, because you have 2 residential neighbors.
Absolutely. And you only need good tenants to pay every month.
You don't want them bad tenants.
I understand quite well.
The renegades are no good.
Yeah.
All right, in a moment, I'm going to open this, unless there's more questions, I'm going to open it up to the public in a moment. Oh, go ahead,
The
Jack.
sidewalk, I was asked to get a little bit more testimony onto the record about this, asking for a variance in the sidewalk.
Yeah, the only sidewalk along.
Yeah. So,
That's
anybody
Ed's
has
thing.
any issue with
Ed
that
loves
sidewalk? Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Before I open to the public, the Ralphie, the Ag, 25 feet, you have any
Well, it's currently wooded. It's currently wooded.
It's a lot of area, open area. There are some woods along the side, you have to maintain most of it. The DEP now does require that the plan, the tree county plan and compensation stuff, so we will do a tree survey of the area that needs to be disturbed.
I thought there was a Q form in the back.
There is.
That's what I'm asking.
So just real quick, from a use perspective, for the uses that are permitted within the zone, ultimately speaking, from a, the reason that there's a question being asked is you have a use that's more, let's just say septic generating. You're gonna have to go back and forth with the town. If you change the use, you might have to go back to the health department afterwards. So if you're gonna go through that, just identify what your most, intense use might be, and then you're just gonna follow us and get rid of it.
Right. Ralph, what I was referring to was the Q form in the back. the
Yeah,
25 feet. Is there any issues there?
The ordinances indicate that it's 100 foot of a buffer. This particular applicant has proposed 50 foot, Tara?
25 feet.
25.
In the rear.
Yeah.
Where?
We have a septic system here, and so this is a 25-foot buffer.
Okay. So,
And those are existing trees, that dark color green? I don't see any issue.
Okay.
Off-site, yes, there's also.
Yeah.
They're existing woods.
All right. You're the,
Oh, okay,
you're the
in the
farmer, I want to make sure it's
resolution,
covered.
in the resolution, should there be a resolution, you would be prohibited from cutting the trees down in the rear, because then it would violate the ag buffer variance that you're requesting. So I would like that language in the resolution.
One thing I would like to add to that is just to make sure that they would have to shift their septic system potentially to keep in compliance with that, because they can't have trees within 10 feet of the field. From
Okay.
County requirement.
Yeah, we'll make sure of that.
Okay. Everybody good? All right, this time I'll entertain a motion to open the hearing to the public. I have a motion, second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're open to the public for any comment. There's one
This
person in the
gentleman.
back of the room. All right, thank you, sir.
Motion to close open public portion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, where are we at?
Yep, I make a motion to approve SB 25-01 with all the,
Stuff Jackie had.
stuff that Jackie.
Shape over.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay, Jack, before we call for a vote, let's just go over it real.
Summarize?
You summarize that for us so everybody knows what's on that list?
Okay, subject to, let's start with the most recent. 25 feet of agricultural buffer in the back, and further than the septic, prohibited from cutting down any of the trees in the rear, and you may have to shift the septic field as a result of compliance with that requirement. That,
Sidewalks.
yeah, sidewalk, the waiver is granted. Waiver regarding, I'm trying to see what the restrictions were. The waiver regarding the, designated loading and unloading zones is granted. It doesn't remark, but, look, right, EV for each building under, I'm gonna listen to the tape, but, you know.
25 foot side yard is sufficient when the ordinance says 25 feet.
Right, 25. Design waiver, the sidewalk, the building design, you're seeking various recesses pursuant to the code. I think the agreement was that the street facing frontage is going to be covered with stone. And then the rest of the buildings as depicted in the drawings are going to be partially covered with stone.
Yeah, no.
My motion
Huh?
stands for what that's showing. Stone on the bottom and the metal, I'm okay with that. I am okay.
Even though Delsey's Drive.
Even though Delsey Drive, I am okay with the
Everybody's
metal.
okay with that?
I never picked up that there was, stone on the front. I thought it was all
The applicant
metal.
said that he would sew the entire
Yes, I
front.
know, but
That's
that's
right.
Oh, okay, I thought I heard that too.
Yeah.
How high up does that stone go?
3 feet.
3 feet?
So they're waiving the
Yeah, it looks better like that.
waiving
Well-
the prohibition against the free.
Now, if the applicant wants to go a little further, make it more decorative because it's facing Delsey Drive, there wouldn't be an objection to that, but stone doesn't have to go all the way up.
Plus, they have like some really interesting colors.
Yeah.
There you go.
Which is no longer just.
I know that. and
Yeah,
why-
that's
why
what we're
I
saying.
keep it.
And it looks good with the stone at the
Yeah,
bottom.
right.
So,
Yeah, we want a good looking building, and I'm sure you want a good looking
I
building.
want to.
Yeah, so.
Wall dividing any units will be fire code.
It's really sad.
I know.
No outside storage, except for obviously vehicles that are parked over there. You agree to, you said you're going to retain ownership and physical condition storage and ancillary use, no fabrication, no manufacturing, no, you say repair of heavy machinery, or we're not going to limit that?
I would just put no equipment repair, yeah.
Right. And any permitted retail.
The no fabrication part is a little, what if an HVAC guy is putting together some planners and things like that in a shop and then he's gonna go install it somewhere? You know what I mean?
And it's inside, it's closed, it's not like in the public.
Well, what if a guy wants to open up a full-blown sheet metal shop then? I mean, that's what we're trying to, yeah. I don't think a guy putting plans together is gonna get a visit from the zoning officer, but a guy running a full metal sheet metal
You know how it is when
shop.
you say no something, no fabrication,
Right.
and then you say,
Right.
okay,
Sure, somebody
well,
could be
does this fall
fabricating
in or
quilts
not?
in there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't make any noise.
Yeah.
I would think that as long
Yeah.
as the neighbors aren't being bothered, I don't think anybody's gonna be.
Well, I
calling
think
the
we
zoning
addressed that
officer
anything would be
and zoning
still-
officer out, so.
Sorry, can't see back there. I think that we addressed that anything would still be subject to whatever noise ordinance.
The noise,
applicable.
and
But
And
you
it-
still
and
want to
it-
include something about no I think manufacturing.
But doesn't, and that screws up the zoning too, right? Doesn't that violate zoning? What zone you're in?
CO doesn't go before the.
Yeah, but-
Accessory uses for. All right. The accessory uses allow limited manufacturing and assembly incidental to on-site retail business, such as bakery, silk screening. So that would be, and that's within the
But I
IC.
forget why they do it.
DHC,
Yeah.
Jackie, read that again, please.
Limited manufacturing and assembly incidental to the on-site retail business. And it gives examples of bakery, silk screening.
So that, I believe that covers that, at that point, of, the heavy manufacturing versus
putting stuff together.
That's accessory to the actual permit.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I think Mr. Kelly said it's a coverage.
Yeah, true.
So we want to limit the, manufacturing would be prohibited, correct?
Heavy manufacturing. Because as long as they meet that requirement, they're okay. All right, I have a motion and a second. I'll go back to you. I'm going to go back to you. I just want to get clarification on something I have. I see you down there, John. I'll get my question out. I want to go back to the trash. The landlord is responsible for the dumpster, and that's part of the lease of the individuals. Is that what I'm hearing? Who's responsible for the dumpsters? The tenant or is it part of the lease? And who?
The landlord.
Landlord, okay, I got it, all right.
So we'll have one dumpster for landfill and one for
Recycling, okay.
And then we'll like have a contract with whoever is the waste management around here, come pick them up every week.
Right. I just want to make sure tenant A1 just isn't taking his trash and putting it outside and leaving it piled up. There's a connection to that dumpster and somebody's responsible for
It's a
it.
common dumpster for the whole property.
For the whole property.
It's a common dumpster, I'm gonna be responsible.
All right.
As the landlord.
Okay,
Yep.
but we want to restrict the tenants from putting out their own dumpsters. You're going to provide the dumpster.
Yeah, there's
for
no
the-
place.
yeah.
There's gonna be
Yeah,
one
there's
one
no-
space for dumpsters.
Yeah, that's what I want to get away from, is somebody piling their trash and recycling up outside the building.
We can't do that.
Okay.
Just one clarification on the same exact subject, the screening that's proposed around it, should you not be able to put in landscaping, are you proposing to put in, fencing, the fence with so
And we were proposing the white fence around it.
Okay.
Opaque fence and gate and landscaping.
Okay, yeah, chances are you're not gonna be able to fit that landscaping in there with the rest of your parameters that are gonna be
Yeah.
shifting, so just this.
Like white picket fence. White fence.
Yeah, it's a just a high.
Privacy, and nobody can see it.
Yes, it is. Solid wood.
And you are going to include a second dumpster for recycling?
Yeah, real wide net.
Okay, and taking that trash concern outside the building, now going over to the dumpster, and it's not our responsibility, but somewhere in the lease, we would be addressing construction debris that they're bringing back from the job sites and throwing a whole job site of stuff in your dumpster that you're paying for. You would be addressing that somehow in your lease, that it's only the trash generated from within the building type of thing. From my perspective, my concern is a gigantic pile of construction debris that's brought from a job site and is laying outside the dumpster now because it's full.
Yeah, well, we have to address that because we
Right.
already did that.
Yep.
And, we'll have security cameras around.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
But I guess, I think Joe is saying you will have language in your lease agreement with each tenant restricting that type of throwing away, getting rid of trash.
John, earlier you had your hand up.
I was just saying that I seconded the
Okay,
motion.
all right.
I'm sorry, Joe.
No problem. Jackie, are you okay now with all the language for a call for a
I
vote?
am. I will listen to everything carefully. Now, I think
Okay.
we've covered everything.
Okay, got it.
But
All
I
right.
You think, Jackie? You think
You gotta
you
test
covered
me on
everything?
that,
I
Mayor,
think we did some pretty good.
Will you give me a minute? All right, I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Brandt?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Milady?
Yes.
Mr. Swade?
Yes.
Mr. Travagliano?
Yes.
Mayor Bruno?
Hurry up with your vote, will
Chairman
you?
Pesh?
Yes. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
What's your timeline? When are you gonna start?
What, are you looking for a space?
No, I'm just wondering. I want to come see this pervious pavement. I'm intrigued by this.
Yeah, I'm interested in that,
Yeah.
so.
We have a lot of work in front of us.
Yeah, I want to check it out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck, good luck.
Yeah.
I was waiting on DOT and, DOT approvals, yeah. So maybe springtime, or?
The other one is,
Yeah, we'll just issue the permits, let them start building.
would be like the
Oh,
other.
yeah, exactly.
Moving through the agenda, there's no correspondence, there's no communications.
No communication.
Correspondence, the
Yes.
2026 annual municipal pig compliance statement. All good?
I'll make a quick comment, Mr. Mayor. State of New Jersey requires that the Agriculture Advisory Committee do a once annual report to the planning board, since it's a subset. So we all have copies, and it tells us roughly what we've done in the past, what we plan on doing in the future. As township residents, in 2023, the township spent $220,000. In 2024, the township spent $40,000. And in 2025, the township spent $60,000 of our open space funds for farmland preservation. We have an aggressive program. Over 3,300 acres in the town has been preserved. An example of such is just right where we're sitting. It's called the Municipal Building Park. There's 4 acres here, but it's part of our total of the 3,300 acres. That's it.
Thank you, Ralph. The minutes of September 16th.
I make a motion to approve as listed.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Aye.
I abstained, I wasn't here.
Got it. Jackie, no need for closed session, correct?
Nothing for closed session?
All right, thank you. Any members have comments this evening? Hearing?
Happy
No.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I want to make sure, Ralph.
I haven't had dinner yet.
Happy Thanksgiving to all.
Motion to adjourn.
Yep, I have motion adjourned, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Yeah, I know.
Breakfast.
Breakfast? What, breakfast? Speaking of breakfast, are we going out?